everyone, welcome back to the kitchen. Today, in honor of Christmas in July, we're going to start off with a delicious sweet treat that's guilt-free. We're going to be sharing with you how to make these sugar-free candied pecans, and I dare you to tell the difference between this and the real thing. I can't wait to show you how this all comes together. We're going to go over all of the ingredients for our sugar-free candied pecans. Now, I do have a recipe for how I make candied pecans with regular sugar, but because I've had so many requests for sugar-free items, and because in our house we're really trying to avoid sugar right now, I thought what better way to bring a little Christmas than to make a candied pecan without the sugar. So we are going to be using a baking blend that has stevia in it. You can use whatever your favorite artificial sweetener is. I would recommend referring to the label. The one that I am using is a baking blend, therefore it's safe to heat in the oven. So we're going to use approximately 2 cups of pecan halves. These are just out of the bag in the freezer. We're going to use 1 egg white, so I'll be separating this egg. I have 1 cup or thereabouts of my stevia baking blend, and then I have a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. There should be a tablespoon of water in this little jug that I didn't put in there. A teaspoon of kosher salt, or whatever your salt of choice is, and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is separate our egg, and I just do that in the shell. So my mom, growing up and for many years, made candied pecans. She always used the egg white method. The method that I used in my previous video does not require egg whites, and it's just on top of the stove in a skillet. I've separated our egg. All we're gonna do now is I'm gonna give this a light whisk. I'm gonna add that tablespoon of water in here, and then I'm going to whisk this particular egg white until it is nice and foamy and stands up just a little bit. We're not going for a stiff meringue, but we are wanting this to be good and foamy, because that's kind of the secret to making this candied pecan work. All right, we are to the point where I think we're good and foamy enough. You see how that kind of leaves a pattern when you drip it onto itself? That's where we want to be. You guys are going to ask me, this is a Rita Handy Stir. I love these things. If you get one with the black handle so you can stick it in your dishwasher. It makes for easy cleanup. These wear like iron. They never fail me. You'll see me use them all the time. I have more than one. I'll leave a link down below where you can pick one up. What we're going to do is we're going to pop our nuts in here, and we're going to toss to coat. You want all the nuts to be evenly coated with the foamy egg white. There we go. Now, go ahead and toss in your vanilla extract and give that a toss. You can also add the vanilla extract in when you're whipping up your egg white. I just forgot. You know how that goes. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just lightly blend my sweetener and my cinnamon. It doesn't have to be, you know, a big deal. Just mix it on in there, because it's all gonna get mixed up anyway. And we're gonna toss all of this in here. Give this a stir. This is kind of where the magic happens. Beautiful. I prepared a baking sheet with just some non-stick aluminum foil. You can use parchment or whatever your preference is. That is up to you. I'm gonna toss these nuts onto the tray, and I'm going to spread them out. While these will break up nicely after they come out of the oven, it is a little bit easier to deal with these if you separate them as much as you can before you stick them in the oven. I have my oven preheated to 325 degrees, and we're gonna pop these in there for about 12 minutes. But before I do that, I'm gonna take this salt and I'm gonna sprinkle it. If you're on a salt restricted diet, please feel free to leave this part out. Okay, we're gonna pop these in the 325-degree oven for about 12 minutes. I'll be back and show you what they look like. Our candied pecans were in the oven for approximately 15 minutes. Now, what I did was about halfway through, I checked them, I pulled them out, and using a wooden spoon, I just gave it a really good stir. At that point, I did put it back in for about another 6 minutes. And then I pulled them out and gave them another stir. Now, they're not going to be completely crispy until they have cooled completely, but you could eat them at this point. Just make sure you let them cool for about 10 minutes, otherwise you'll just burn your tongue. They taste delicious. What do you think, babe? Right? Mm-hmm. He's going to tell me, now make some for yourself.
Yeah, well.
Because he would eat all of these.
I could.
But think about this. You could definitely double up this recipe. You could make several batches. But what I will say is these need to be eaten within about a week's time. And you need to keep them in an airtight container in a cool, dry place. You cannot freeze these because the moisture in the freezer is going to build up condensation. When you thaw them out, all of this crispy, sweet coating is just going to turn into a puddle. So you don't want to do that. So this is definitely something, if you're going to be gifting these at the holidays, you're going to want to make these a couple of days before you plan on handing out all of your goodie baskets or however you do it. So you can make these up for yourself or friends, and it's super easy. It didn't take very long, and it didn't take a lot of ingredients, and it didn't take a lot of tools.
They still taste guilty.
And they do taste guilty. They're delicious. So I'm gonna pretty this up for you guys, and I'll be right back, and we'll just do a little bit of a close. Well, there you have it. Our candied pecans are all ready to go. I've prepared a little example of how you might choose to give this as a gift. I just made a cone out of a 12 by 12 piece of scrapbook paper. It's not even put together pretty. I just slapped it together with some Scotch tape. And then I put a little bit of parchment paper in the middle, and you can do this inside of, when you go to the mall and you go to the candied nut place in the middle of the mall, like they do the almonds and the pecans and the cashews, and they candy them in those big vats, and they put them in little bags that look like decorator, like icing cones. You can order those in bulk online. You can put the pecans in there, you can tie it with a bow, put a pretty little tag on it, and boom, you are ready to give a gift. These are fabulous. Fill a coffee mug with these, put a pretty bow on it, put them in a mason jar, just put them in one of those holiday bags, the cellophane bags, and tie it with a bow. Nobody is going to turn this down. And it is really a plus, in my opinion, that you can make these sugar-free, and they're virtually impossible to really differentiate from the ones that are made with real sugar. They're so good. They're crunchy, and the longer that they cool, the crunchier and crispier they get. And whatever's left on the bottom of your baking sheet, don't throw that away. Save that. You can sprinkle it on top of your ice cream, or you can put it on top of your whipped cream when you have a nice coffee. It's just going to sweeten it a little bit more, and it will be a lovely addition as a sprinkle of some sort for whatever you want to use it for. So those are sugar-free candied pecans that I know you're going to love. I hope you give these a try sometime soon, and I hope you love them. And until next time, happy Christmas in July.